Hi everyone, it's Dawn. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dawn and I'm a 54-year-old woman here in the mature beauty community, and I invite you to hit the subscribe button and stick around. And so today I'm going to do a chatty video, and it's going to be reviewing a new foundation and sort of like a sweet pea, peachy pink summertime makeup look that you can see. I've already done my makeup and then I filmed the intro, but I also wanted to say that if any of you are affected by the flooding that's going on or the terrible weather that's going on all over the world actually, but I know it's super hot in the Southwest and I know it's flooding like crazy in like sort of the east to Midwest. And yesterday we actually had a ton of rain. It rained from morning until night, and it was the strangest thing because my husband was off work, so we did go about our day and do some fun things. We went out to eat and we ran some errands, and I was able to do a little bit of shopping with him. And then we came home and we took a nap. So the two of us, my husband's off on Wednesdays, by the way, so we were laying in bed taking a nap, and I heard like a siren start to go. And you know how when you hear something and you're sleeping, sometimes it gets incorporated into your dream. So I was sort of like starting to wake up, but also dreaming about this siren. And the siren was back in my ICU nurse days. It was like something going on with one of my patients. And, you know, so it just became part of my dream. So I woke up and I said to my husband, I'm like, do you hear that? And he's like half asleep. He goes, yeah, it's tornado drill or something like that. And so I'm listening. I'm like, it's a tornado drill. And I looked out the window and it was really calm out there. And then before I knew it, like I got out of bed and went to the bathroom, and then the sun was out, and the sun hadn't come out all day, and the drill was over. And I found out that the tornado had touched down right on the perimeter of my subdivision. So like just a few blocks away, but it was in a field, so it didn't hurt anyone, and it didn't hurt like any houses or structures or anything like that. All over Facebook, people are saying there were 2 tornadoes that touched down, and some people chased them because they're thrill seekers. But it was funny because my husband and I just kind of laid in bed and we're like, oh. And then when we woke up, we had all these texts from our family members asking if we were okay because they had heard on the news that it touched down right by our neighborhood. So anyways, a little bit of excitement. I hope that all of you are doing well and that your weather is okay and that you're staying safe and cool and protected. So I'm going to jump in and start this video. My skin is red right now, but it's because I just washed it and put on my skincare, and my skin gets even pink when I just like touch it. So I just have on my Genifique and I have my sunblock on. And now I'm going to use the Photo Finish primer from Smashbox, and this is the Smooth and Blur, and this is the only primer I ever use. Some of you have asked me if I ever use a primer, and I generally don't, but I really like this one. If you don't like dimethicone in your primers, I'm pretty sure this has dimethicone because it has that slip that dimethicone leaves on your skin. It leaves it really soft and nourished. And this is supposed to be like a blurring kind of like line filling primer, so like your fine lines and wrinkles can look a little bit plumper. So I do like that. And now I'm going to go in with the new foundation from Smashbox, the Always On foundation. And you guys might recall in a recent Get Ready With Me, I was asking you guys about Smashbox. I was just saying to all of you, they haven't released any new products in a while, and I hope the brand isn't going to go under. Right after I said that, it's like, you know how you feel like sometimes when you think something or you talk about something with a friend, the next thing you know, it's on your iPhone being marketed to you. And that's how I felt about this, because right after that video, Beautyvel or Trend Mood announced that Smashbox released a new foundation, and I didn't want to run right out and get it because I did just recently purchase the Lancome newly formulated foundation, which I absolutely love. I'm never going to stop whining about the cost though, because it's $57. Don't even get me started, because I've whined to you guys enough about that, but I have more thoughts. But this is $49 and it's 1.6 fluid ounces. I think the Lancome is only 1. Most foundations I think are 1. Usually the standard is 1 fluid ounce. So it's a little bit more than that. And it claims to be a skin-loving foundation for all skin types, even mature skin. And I think especially mature skin, because when you read the description, it's like it's marketing toward us mature ladies. It has adaptogens in it and hyaluronic acid, and they claim that it will give you 24 hours of hydration. And it also has antioxidants in it. So it has skincare ingredients, and it's like a serum. When I pump it out, it is a little bit runny. I'll show you. I've only used it once before, but I wanted to use it yesterday to do a trial run so I can let you know all my thoughts, especially because like my skin is exactly the same way as it was yesterday, meaning I've been using Retin-A and I've been kind of going hard with it, and I've got a little bit of peeling on my chin here, and I've got a little pimple that's healing up here, but it's like it's got dry skin on it. I can feel it. I so want to scratch it, but I'm gonna leave it. And I did notice yesterday that didn't really grab onto my dry spots. It's a medium coverage, and the adaptogens, if you're not familiar with what that is, I wasn't, are sea asparagus for like hydration and antioxidants and nourishing your skin, licorice root extract for brightening and kind of lightening dark spots. And I told you about the hyaluronic acid and the antioxidants, and it has sugar kelp, which helps control oil. So it's like the best of both worlds, because it helps control oil, but it also really hydrates your skin, and it gives you a skin-like finish, not a matte finish, which is what I typically go for. But I really like this a lot, and it's like a lighter medium coverage. When I first apply it, it feels like it has more coverage, but then as it melds with my skin, I feel like it is like more of a, just like a medium coverage, just a straight up medium coverage. And it does have a pump. Nice glass bottle, and as you can see, it's runny, so it's got like a serum quality about it. Just going to apply it to my skin. I did go with a lighter color because it's new, and I know that I won't finish it by the end of the summer, and so I wanted to select my winter color when I'm not self-tanning or using like a lot of bronzer and stuff like that. So it looks a little light at first, but once it melds with my skin, the color is just right for me. I was like between the fair shades and the light shades. They have 30 shades, and then within those shades, they have warm, neutral, and cool tones. So they do have a lot of selections for your skin tone. And I think that this matches pretty good. It looks a little light, like I said, but once I get my blush and bronzer and everything on, it's just right. And I'm just using my Real Techniques sponge to apply it. Isn't that so weird how that happens when you're talking to someone and then you get on your phone and there's some, like you could be mentioning a style of dress you're looking for, that you're going to a wedding and you need a dress. And then next thing you know, there's dresses being advertised to you. Something very weird happened this morning. My husband and I got up early, which I'll tell you about that too. I've been getting up really early and not sleeping so well. I think I need to get my hormones readjusted or my thyroid checked or something. So I have to get some blood work done. I've been waking up in the middle of the night and then staying up for hours, or I've been not going to sleep till like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I just get up, like I stay up and I read or something, just waiting to fall asleep. I refuse to just lay there awake, waiting. So that might be part of it. But then I go back to sleep at like 5 in the morning till like 9, and then I feel a little bit cruddy. But this morning I got up at 4:30. I fell asleep at around 10:30, so I went to bed early for me. So I feel good. But anyways, that's weird. And I'm gonna get like my hormones checked out, because when I first started perimenopause, I was having some sleep disturbances, and then I went on low dose birth control pills for hormone replacement, and now I'm having some sleep disturbances again. So I feel like I'm really like advancing in menopause, or I need to get my thyroid checked. I just want to get a complete blood panel and check everything out. Okay, so I've got that on, and then just to get some more color in my face right away, I'm going to use some bronzer, and I'm going to use my Laguna bronzer from NARS, and this is the original Laguna, not Laguna, like they have Laguna, plain Laguna, and then Laguna 1, 2, 3, you know, goes on deeper and deeper. This is the lightest one. And I love this bronzer. This is probably my absolute favorite bronzer. I could use this every day and be very happy. And I'm sick that I have so many other bronzers I need to get through, because I really love this one. And I want to use it all the time, but I have to pay attention to some of my other makeup. And I didn't contour or anything. I'm just really bronzing. I guess I will add like a little contour here. Let's just do my face first, and then we'll go in with my eye makeup. So I'm gonna use this mineralized blush called Dainty from MAC, and it's so pretty. I'm really making a dent in it. When you get these mineralized blushes from MAC, they're like a dome, kind of like the Milani Luminoso and those Milani mineralized blushes, which are really nice too. I love the color of this one in the summertime though. It's like a kind of a cool toned pink with some pearlescence in it. It doesn't have strobe, so it's just such a pretty color. Let me show you. I feel like it's like the perfect summer pink. And because I'm a redhead, if you don't watch me, I always add a little blush to my bronzer, because I always pink up in the sun, so it looks more natural on me, because it's the way that I would look if I were in the sun. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly line my lips with Edge to Edge from MAC, and it's just this really nice light pink. Okay, I have a Smashbox lipstick that I really like. It's from the legendary Prime and Plush range, and they recently repackaged these and renamed the shades. This is called Pretty Social, and I got mine at the cosmetics company store outlet, and they still have them in the black packaging, but now the packaging is white with, I think, a little bit of red on it. And the closest color that I can tell from online to this shade, Pretty Social, is called Literal Queen, and it looks exactly the same in my opinion, but I'd have to check it out in person to know for sure. But it's even described as like a nice warm pink, and that's what this is. And these are so nice. I'm so glad that I tried them, because I don't know, I just never really pick up lipsticks from Smashbox. So a few years ago, Smashbox released some little eyeshadow palettes called Cover Shot, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, and I purchased one that I absolutely loved. I actually loved it all year round, and I've used it on my channel before, but I haven't used it in a long time, and I purchased a new one because the one that I had was pretty used up. So I got a new Smashbox Cover Shot palette in matte, and I've got the mirror still covered in the wrap, but this is what it looks like. And if you remember me talking about this before, I'll just briefly describe what I love about it again. It has these 2 matte shades here. All of the shades are actually matte, but they have a more pinky toned one, and then they have like more of a yellow toned one. So as you can see, there's a difference. And I love having these lighter shades like this in a palette, because if you're using the warmer tones, I like to use the more yellow one on the inside to kind of brighten things up. And if I'm using the cooler shades, it's nice to have the pinky one. But I also love that it has this dark color right here that's like almost a black. And it's great for eyeliner. So this little palette is very complete, and it's really good for travel because, like I said, you've got the warm shades, you've got the cool shades, you've got the inner corner brightening shades, and you've got the eyeliner. So it's just perfect in my opinion. So I'm just gonna do a really simple look that I like to do with this palette. And so what I'm gonna do is go in with this pinky shade right here. And like I said, it's a matte, and I blend it with this little warmer shade that's kind of bronzy. I hope you can see those. It just gives you like a nice wash of color. So I pick up the pink and then just a little bit of that warmer shade, and I apply it all over my mobile lid and up into my crease. So I was telling you guys about how my phone, and your phone too, listens to us, and then they advertise. So the reason I was thinking about my phone this morning, number one, is the Smashbox. That happened a couple of days ago after I talked about it with you guys. All of a sudden I find out they released something new. Well, my husband and I were talking this morning, and I was mentioning to him about a friend of mine whose mother-in-law, who's like into her late 70s, had to have surgery. She's a widow. She had to have surgery. And after her surgery, she wasn't able to drive for a few weeks. So she's in a group, like a social group, not really like, it's not like a dating site or anything like that. It's through her church. Now I'm wiping off the same brush. Do you guys ever just get ready and use the same brush for all your eyeshadow colors? I just wiped it off really good. And now I'm gonna pick up the brighter one, the pinker one of the light shades. And I'm just gonna dab a little of that on the inside. And so this woman couldn't drive, so a man from her group said that he was available and he would drive her around. So he started driving her. And so for a few weeks, everywhere she needed to go, her physical therapy, her grocery store, whatever she needed to do, mostly like doctor's appointments and things like that, he would take her. And then they'd grab some lunch or something like that, and he'd bring her home. Well, during this like month-long period, they fell in love with each other, and then they got married like 3 months later. It was all like within like 4 or 5 months. And they'd been married for like, I don't know, 6 years when I met her. So she's like in her 80s now, and they're not newlyweds anymore, but kind of. And I thought it was such a sweet story. And so I was talking about it with my husband, and then we kind of got onto the morbid topic, like, would you want me to like go on with my life and that kind of thing. I don't know if you ever have that kind of conversation with your partner, you know, just things you talk about when you've been married for almost 30 years. Now I'm just taking like a pencil brush, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's kind of a cool tone, like brown, like a soft. It kind of reminds me of soft brown from MAC. I always compare colors to MAC because I'm really familiar with MAC eyeshadows. So if you are, I hope that helps you. It's just a cool toned brown. So anyways, after we had our conversation, I was sitting there on the couch and I opened up YouTube, and a video was recommended to me from somebody I'd never like seen before. And she sews, so it's not even like the content that I usually watch. Her whole channel is sewing and making patterns and making clothes, which is really interesting actually. But in that video, it said Where I've Been was like the title. So I started watching it, and her husband died. And oh my gosh, I don't know if it was like a God thing. Like I was watching it, and I actually commented and told her I'd be praying for her, which I will be. But it was like, he died like a month ago maybe, and she's from Ireland, and she was talking about like what he would want for her. And I don't know, it was just like a really sweet and sad video, but it was so weird that it was recommended to me, and I clicked on it right after my husband and I had a very similar conversation. It's just like bizarre. really, you know, you feel like you're in the Truman Show if you've ever seen that movie. Now I'm just taking like a slanted brush like this one, and I'm picking up the black shade. It reminds me of MAC Carbon, which is another MAC shade that I really like for this purpose. And I'm just going to smudge this along my upper lash line. And it's really nice because it's a matte and it's black. And it's an eyeshadow. So it's really nice to kind of smudge and soften it. And I really like that I can soften it up and not have like a really harsh black line. Now I'm just gonna tight line the inner rim, the upper tight line. And then I'm gonna put on some mascara and I'll be right back. So I decided to go with the Ilia mascara, and I do already have one coat on and it looks really nice. But I had mentioned to you that I purchased the full size because I had the mini, and the full size is really nice, but it's not as nice as the mini. Have any of you ever experienced that? Like, I feel like I have to put a lot more work into building it up. Maybe it's just because it's a fresh new tube, but I don't even remember the mini size being like this. Like when I used the mini size the first time, I was like, wow, I definitely like this mascara. And this one, I'm kind of like, oh, it's kind of thin and very natural with the one coat, which is really nice. A lot of people like that. But I like a little more va-va-voom, a little more volume and length. And it does it, but it just takes me a while to get there. And I don't know why that happens. You know, sometimes you try a mini size of something and you fall in love with it, and then you purchase the full size and it's just different. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? That also happened to me before with a Tarte blush. I had a mini size of the Tarte blush and I really loved it. So then I went and got the full size, and the color was just completely different. Like it was a completely different color, but it had the same name. You know, it was so weird. Just wanted to keep the look very simple today. If you'd like to see another look with this palette, I'd be happy to do that, because there also is like this really pretty like violet purple shade. It's really pretty, especially in the fall time, because it's kind of like a darker purple. And I don't know, you can get just such a beautiful like neutral makeup look too. So I just wanted to remind all of you guys about these Cover Shop palettes. I think they're pretty nice. This one especially. I'm just going to use a little bit of my Lancome Efferson's concealer that I recently purchased. It's in, it's kind of like a really brightening, waterproof product, but it's very creamy and hydrating as well. And I like it a lot. This is the second time I've owned it, so I know that I like it. And I just like it like right here for really kind of brightening and concealing the shadows that I get here. And then if I have any blemishes or anything kind of showing through my foundation, I'll cover those too. I like that it is not super radiant. It sort of has like a very like soft, like, not, I want to say matte, but it's really just like skin-like finish, but you don't feel like you need to set it because it doesn't stay sticky or anything like that. And I'm just going to use a little bit of MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter, and I'm just going to touch the tops of my cheeks with that, my nose. And I'll also just go like that. So this is the finished look. The new Smashbox Always On Foundation with adaptogens and hyaluronic acid. I think it's a really good foundation. I like the light formulation. I like how long wearing it is. I like that it doesn't oxidize and that it doesn't feel sticky or tacky on your skin, so you don't have to powder it if you don't want to. And I think that makes it just perfect for mature skin. So if you have tried this, let me know. If it's a foundation that you think you'd like to try, also let me know that. And I'm really happy that I picked it up. I think it's a good one. And I think I'm going to enjoy it all through the winter too, because it is so lightweight and hydrating. And I got the perfect color to move between summer and fall, and I don't even want to think about that right now, but I did choose a color with that in mind. So I'll link all the products I used down below in the description box in case you're curious about any of them. You can look them up and read more about them. And I hope that you all have a very blessed and beautiful day. I'll see you next time.